Hi friends, happy December. It's Missy Shipman, and I'm delighted to once again be partnering with the Baldwinsville Public Library to offer a virtual paper crafting class. While we're unable to meet together in person at the library, it's exciting for me to have the chance to share paper crafting fun each month. It's the second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. And many thanks to the Baldwinsville Public Library for the opportunity. They provide funds so that you can pick up kits at the library, complimentary kits, and join along with me each month to make some projects. Tonight we'll be using some pieces and parts from a favorite paper pumpkin kit called Winter Gifts. And here's a little sneak peek at that. This was from last year, and I do have a few of these refills left, along with some other paper pumpkin projects and that are available for purchase. So if you're interested in growing your collection of supplies, you're welcome to visit my Facebook page, Missy's Glad Heart Studio, Paper Crafting and More, and I can help you there. Hi, Lee. I'm so glad you're joining us tonight. I'm just watching to see that some people are on board and that we're running live. I'll do my best to follow comments tonight. It sometimes can be tricky. There's a little bit of delay from what I see on what I'm sharing with you and what we see on the screen. And so if I miss a comment or question, please just keep typing it in. After the event, I will be able to go through and answer questions. And also remember that as we're working together, you don't need to complete your projects all tonight. You might decide to watch how it comes together and add it together with different supplies that you have in your stash at home or make changes. So if I get a little ahead of where you are, don't worry. You'll know that this will be available as a recording for you to watch here on Facebook. And also it will be posted as a YouTube link. The library will post that for us tomorrow. So I hope you'll just enjoy watching and listening and playing tonight. Again, keep your comments and questions coming, and I will do my best to follow on with you so that I can see your comments and questions, okay, and be responsive to them. So thanks for joining in. Happy December. I love Christmas time, and I love crafting all year round, but there's something extra special about crafting during the holidays. We tend to be making things for those we love, and it's a special time. So tonight, like I said, we're going to be using elements from the Winter Gifts Paper Pumpkin Kit, which was a kit available last year from Stampin' Up! And if you were able to get a complimentary kit from the library, that included, it's this little acetate box, and inside the box, the cover is the acetate and the cardboard box, and it has lots of different embellishments in it. You'll also notice it has ink this month and a stamp. Now the stamp will look like one of these. There are 6 different ones in the set, and so your kit included one as a kind of a sampler. There's Peace and Joy, Let Heaven and Nature Sing, Have a Holly Jolly Christmas, Jingle All the Way, Sending Christmas Wishes, and May Your Season Be Merry and Bright. Now, one lucky viewer tonight will receive the stamp set as a gift from me. So in order for you to be entered in the drawing, you need to comment, please. Make sure to say that let me know that you're watching live, and comment with questions and things like that. Okay, so you also have the ink spot, which is the real red ink. And you don't, however, in your kit have a block. The clear block is what we use to mount the photopolymer sticky. They're like a sticky back to it that will cling to the stamp, the photopolymer, and then it can be peeled off. So these are clear blocks. If you don't have a clear block to use with your stamp tonight, you can try to find in your home a flat bottom glass bottle or a glass. And you do want it to be as flat as possible so that you'll get a clean image. And I'll show you how I use that tonight. I'm glad to see some friends here tonight, a bunch of you watching, and delighted that you're here. So we're going to get started. Oh, also, I wanted to tell you about these beautiful cookies. These are my mother-in-law's recipe for molasses ginger cookies, sugar cookies, and they're delightful. I did post them on my Facebook page, my Missy's Glad Heart Studio Paper Crafting and More page for you, so you can enjoy the recipe. My husband loved these cookies. He remembers having his mom make them, so it's a way that we honor her memory by baking them. So I'll set those aside, though. I just didn't want to forget to tell you about that fun tradition at our house. And I hope that you'll comment on a favorite recipe or food tradition that you love at holiday time, whether it's from a family member or one from a place where you work or something you saw on Facebook. So post as we're talking tonight, you can comment on a favorite treat that you like at Christmas time. So we'll begin. I've designed 2 cards for us and a tag. And I want to remind you that you can put these things together however you like. So the items that are in the kit are for you to explore and to play with, to combine with other elements you might have in your home, and just enjoy the process of creating tonight. So let me take out all our pieces and parts. And as you know, each month it's a little bit of a treasure hunt to go through your kit and find the pieces that you need to make the particular project that we're working on. Let's see. Okay, so let's begin with this card. And we're going to go through our kit to find these different elements that we're going to need, okay? We're going to need a little bit of our green ribbon, so you can pull that out. We are going to need, you'll see this blue sort of watercolored rectangle piece. We want to have that. Looks like we need the tree. Okay. And the deer, this beautiful silver metallic deer. Now on the other side, he's white. So you can have your deer be white, or you can ink up this white side to make him a different color if you like. But I love the shine of the silver metallic. Now, Lee, I see a comment that you lost video and sound. Hopefully you were able to come back on with us. Let me know with your comments. Then we also will need one of the labels, and this label is punched with, I pre-punched them for you using this punch from Stampin' Up. And this is part of one of my ordering specials that you'll find on the website if you're interested. If you'd like to have a punch in your collection, what it allows you to do is just take regular cardstock and have a consistent shape punched really easily. And then there's also this red circle that we're going to use to layer. So I think those are the pieces we're going to need. I'm going to move aside the other things, and we're going to recreate this deer card. Now you'll want to make sure your ink is opened up. This can be a little tricky to do. I'll demonstrate here. You want to be very cautious if you use scissors like this or a knife to cut them open, to cut open the seal here, because I don't want you to harm yourself. But once that's cut open, you can peel off the lid, and then your ink is ready and exposed. So you'll notice on this card, there is a background design of polka dots. But I didn't give you a stamp for polka dots, and I didn't give you any paper with polka dots. But if you have a pencil, thanks, Lee, I see your back, great. If you have a pencil with an eraser, preferably an eraser that hasn't been used before because you want it to be flat, then you're all set to make some polka dots. Now, remember, this was something I didn't include in your kit. So if you want to have polka dots on your card and you don't have a pencil handy right now, then you can set that part aside and finish it tomorrow or another time. You can still work on the other elements of the card if you'd like. But you'll see all I'm doing is tap, tap onto the ink and then pushing down onto the paper. Now, it's fun to do the polka dots, and you might want to cover the entire piece. But you'll notice for this card design, I really just need some to create a frame around the outside of the card. So I'm going to, while we're visiting here, and while you tell me about your favorite holiday treats in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and add some more polka dots around the outside. I'm glad, Connie, that you've got your pencil ready. It's a fun trick to use the pencil to make those polka dots. And I'm not worrying about them lining up exactly. It's really kind of like candy polka dots or confetti. And I don't need to have it all in the middle. I just need some around the edges like a frame. Let's add a little bit more so it's going off. We say that that's kind of like wallpaper, how wallpaper extends. And so here we're showing how the design is extending off the edge of the paper. Okay, I can set my pencil aside for a moment. And I'm going to then find my blue piece. Yes, Jennifer makes much loved peanut butter balls for her friends and family. Ah, Jennifer, sounds wonderful. And I'll share with you either tonight or tomorrow, I'll post another recipe that I just tried yesterday from a good friend, Mrs. Brannigan, who was my son's teacher at McNamara. She posted a peanut butter candy recipe that tastes just like peanut butter balls, but they're really so much easier to make because it's a bar candy. But it reminded me of the peanut butter balls that I used to make when I was younger, and I'd love to compare recipes. Thanks for sharing. Now, I love the texture that ribbon brings. I love fabric and ribbon because of that texture. So what I want to do is just add a strip of ribbon to my card. And I need it to be about the length of this blue piece. So I'm just going to eyeball that. You want some sharp scissors. Hopefully mine are doing okay tonight. So that I've trimmed that off. Now remember, if you want to do your polka dots tomorrow, then don't worry, just work on these elements with me, and then you can finish your assembly tomorrow, okay? Diana's having trouble. She has the picture, but no volume. Can everybody hear me okay, the others of you? Sometimes you have to refresh to restart the live video. I'm using an adhesive called Seal. You can also use the adhesives that were in your kit. There's two different kinds. There's your dimensionals, which are your foam dimensionals. They're a double-sided sticky. And also these little glue dots. Remember, the glue dots are, you pick off I'll use one a little later to show you. I can do it on the back of here to show you. You pick off the element, and then you peel off the little white piece. It's kind of like a wax paper layer. And some people like to use the U-pick tool, or you can use your fingers, or you can use paper snips to help you like that. So right now I've got this Seal, which is a double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to lay down that ribbon strip there, okay? Now, if I have adhesive showing where I don't want it, like on this side, I can use this tool called an adhesive remover and rub that away. All right, and that is part of my goodie bag. If you're interested in sharing some adhesives as a gift or for under your own tree, that is one of the gifts that comes in the adhesive kit, grab bag kit. So I'm going to put the blue on there. This is what that kit looks like. It's in a fun bag, and it has the eraser, and then it also has a bunch of different adhesives, our tear and tape. Let's see. I love these bags with lots of zippers. Dimensionals, glue dots, and one of my favorites here, the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. So that's a fun gift for you or for a crafty friend. Most everybody can use these adhesives in their home, even if they're not a big paper crafter. So we have the ribbon element added and the the blue watery colored look. Next, let's add the tree. Now, this was originally designed as a tag, so it has the hole at the top here. I'm just going to trim off that piece. Okay, good. Some others can hear, and just if you're still struggling with sound, Julia suggests checking the computer on the sound on your computer or your device. Sometimes it gets turned off or reset. All right, so we'll put the tree in place with some adhesive, and I think we'll stamp next with our greeting. Now on this one I have the word sending Christmas wishes. You might have that stamp or you might have something different. So on this one, I'm going to do my sending Christmas wishes because I have this mounted on the bottom of my glass. So if you have a clear block like this, these are designed for this purpose so you can easily mount your stamp, use it, and then clean it and remove it and store it. And then you've got this to use with other images. But tonight I wanted to show you how you can actually use a flat bottom glass for this trick, for this step. So I have my label and I'm going to ink up my stamp. Okay, I know it gets a little shaky if I push on the table there. Okay, now I want to be able to see through the glass onto the white label. And so with shadows and stuff, it can be a little bit tricky. I'm going to move this actually so I can see it better. Let's see what I can do here. This is a pretty Christmas card from last year. I'm going to put this here so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing, and I'll be able to see when I'm lining up the image on top of the white label. At least the best I can. Might be a little bit off center, and that's okay. Sending Christmas wishes. Okay, so if you don't have your a clear block, you can try it with a glass. It's a little more challenging for this project because we have a specific area where we're trying to fill. Also in this kit are some different sizes of labels, so you have some flexibility. If instead of using your stamp image tonight, you would like to write Merry Christmas or I love you or Happy Holidays, you can do that on these other label pieces that we won't be using for the cards. So you have some options for your greetings. Now to make this really stand out in a fun way, we're going to layer it onto the red circle. And to do that, let's find the dimensionals, the Stampin' Dimensionals. Is sound going okay now, Diana, I hope? And, oh, Julia has, I have Jingle All the Way, beautiful. Okay, so the stamps, there's 6 different images, so you got one of those 6 images with the greeting, all happy for the holidays. All right, and this we're going to layer on top of that red circle just to give it kind of a little bit of a frame. And I'll demonstrate using these glue dots again, where you peel it off the plastic and put it in place on the paper. And then peel off the little white wax paper piece. Sometimes they ball up a little bit. That's okay. You just need it to be sticky to adhere to the card base. There. All right, we're getting closer, aren't we now? That's lovely just like that. Some of you might want to stretch your supplies even more, and so by using fewer elements on each card, you can make more tags or more cards. I tend to enjoy lots of layers, so I tend to look for things like the added texture with the ribbon. We're going to add some bling here with our self-adhesive little sequins, and to me, that makes this is lovely like this, but it's just a nice step up when we add these metallic elements. So for the deer, I'm going to put some of these mini dimensionals so that he'll be kind of popping off the envelope, off the card a little bit. There we are. And we'll add that. Okay, and then the last thing will be to add some of these little sparkly sequins. There's some silver ones in there. There's also some sort of white, what do you call that? There's a name for, like pearlescent kind, or iridescent, shiny kind of white ones. So I usually do elements like that in the 3s to kind of make a triangle. There you have it. So I'll be curious, what's your favorite element of this card? You can type it in the comments. If it's the polka dot background or the metallic deer or the watercolor piece or the ribbon, which part kind of makes you want to engage with the card the most? I'd be curious. So you can write that right in the comments. And then we'll start on our next project soon. So take a minute to write on the comments if you'd like to tell me what attracted you about this design, what makes you want to reach out and engage and touch the card. And think about who you might want to share this with, whether it's a neighbor or a friend from work or church or a family member. You can mail these in the mail. The tree, hooray! You can put them in the mail. They do have some depth to them, some thickness to them, but they don't need additional postage because there aren't any hard parts in here. If I were to put a button on here or something, then it would be very stiff and hard to go through the machines. But in this case, it would not need additional postage. But if you're ever in doubt, then you can put the extra ounce stamp on. And great. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Great, Judy. And the deer, I agree, Lois. The deer really pops off because it's that metallic. Connie loves the dimensionals. Great. They're fun. But dimensionals are a great, easy tool with paper crafting to give a lot of texture and depth to your project. So think about who you'd like to share this with. And then almost forgot, though, to show you how I want to dress up the envelope. So to make the envelope a matching set with the card, we're going to stamp some polka dots on the envelope. Now, again, you can do this part tomorrow if you don't have a pencil handy. But what I want to show you, I think I showed you this last week too. My friend Linda Talbot, who she's in heaven now, but when she was my first team member with Stampin' Up! When I joined Stampin' Up! 21 years ago. And we grew our businesses alongside one another. And Linda was a splendid teacher, educator, and funny. And she used to say she's a flapper because she always would embellish the flaps of the envelope. So I think of her when I do this, whenever I add ink to the flap. So we're going to take the polka dot eraser again and just tap, 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 pick up the ink, and have some of them kind of go off the edge again for that wallpaper effect. And this is just going to add a little bit of whimsy and delight to the envelope so the recipient will know, whoo, there's going to be something fun inside. It's a little sneak peek. Great. So if you have comments or questions, put them in there. Remember those, we'll do a drawing of the comments later, and the lucky winner will receive the full stamp set. So in your kit, you received one image, but the lucky winner tonight will receive the full set of 6 stamps. Okay, now I have a matching envelope, and that will just encourage the recipient to be curious and wonder what's inside. All right, so I'm going to set those aside, and we'll begin to gather what we need for our next project. The next project is this card, which uses the bird, the cardinal. And a lot of people believe that cardinals are kind of a visitor from heaven. And my Grandpa Bryson, my mom's dad, whenever I see a cardinal, I think of him. And I smile and maybe remember some wisdom he shared with me or a funny story. We used to go fishing together. He was a ham radio operator and shared that love with me. Sadly didn't keep up my handle, but I'm N1LBT with ham radio operator. So if anybody else is a ham radio operator or has one in your family, you can put that in the comments too. It's a fun bit of history, and that's something that my Grandpa Bryson and I shared. So for this one, you'll see again, we're starting with a blank Whisper White note card, and we're transforming the back here just with the stamp and the ink. It's the same stamp, stamped repeatedly. Thanks, Debbie. I'm glad you like the card. That when you stamp repeatedly, you're just creating a background. And then I have that same image stamped on the label to give it more focus. So in this case, I had the heaven and nature sing. I thought that was appropriate because the bird, nature, is singing. But you can, whatever image you have, it will be fun and appropriate because they're all holiday images. This is also an opportunity if, let's say, instead of having this label, you wanted to put the blue banner or the white banner, or you wanted to just write a greeting on this instead, or use another stamp from your collection. But you don't have to use the stamp provided to you tonight. I just hope that would be a little bit of holiday cheer. But you have options because there's extra pieces in the kit. So to start, what we're going to do is just repeatedly stamp this in the background. This will take me a little while to do, so it's a good time for you to tell me something else in the comments, or for you to work on yours if you're stamping at the same time. Just take your time. You're going to after our class. You'll see how I'm kind of like laying bricks when I put these here to kind of alter them. What would be the good word for that? Like alternate them. So that they're not straight up and down like Lego blocks, but instead more like bricks. And that just adds interest. You could do it just one stripe down the side of stamping. It's just a fun way when you don't have a lot of other papers or designer series papers or other cardstock. It lets you create, again, texture and dimension through the inked images. Okay. So I'm just taking my time working on that. There we are. And almost to the end there. I'm going to do it again on the envelope flap so I can, but I'll take a little break. Okay, so there is now my background, and isn't that kind of pretty, just like that? Maybe add a few sequins to it and you'd have a full project complete. So what's fun when you're stamping is you have a lot of options to use the materials the way you like. Now, Julia has a question about the ink pad. So the ink pad, the spots are actually a linen fabric on top. And so it does have that texture of linen. And so you'll want to really make sure you're inking up your stamp well and maybe practice it on scrap paper a couple times first. It also could be that your ink pad is not very super juiced. Hopefully there's plenty of ink in here, but the ink spot may need a little bit of moisture. I do have Real Red ink in my home, so if your ink pad seems very dry, you can reach out to me and I can help you out. You can come visit my house on the porch and we can drip some of the red ink into your ink spot. If it seems very dry tonight and you want to get playing, you can drip a little bit of water in there to refresh it, but you don't want to dilute the ink. So you'll see how I'm just trying, it's not going to be a super solid image here because the way the ink pad has that linen top. I hope that helps, Julia, to make sense. It also depends, I think you said you have the the Jingle All the Way. And that stamp, let's see if I have, yes, I can use this one. This is a stamp that's very solid. And so when the photopolymer stamps are first made, they have a little bit of chemical residue on them. And so you can rub them on denim, on your jeans. You can rub them a little bit to kind of rough that off. You can, what I like to do is I ink it up and then I squiggle it on the scrap paper to kind of smush and move that. If there's any residue, it'll help remove it. It may be that your ink spot is not as juicy as we'd like. But I'm going to go ahead. You also can ink it up this way, upside down. That will sometimes help. The amount of pressure that you're applying is increased this way, so that may help. But I'm guessing I'm going to put a little Jingle All the Way inside my card just so we can see. If you, like Julia, have this Jingle All the Way stamp, that's going to need a little more pressure to get that ink coverage because it's a solid stamp. So I hope that helps. Now, Connie says she's getting a blank spot from the stamp. Making sure, I don't know if you're working with a block or like if you're working with the a flat bottom glass, you want to make sure it's really flat. Otherwise, if it's not fully flat, there can be parts that leave blank. So again, because these are new images, new stamps, you want to make sure you're kind of conditioning the stamp by inking it and then rubbing it on scrap paper. That's going to help remove any residue from its manufacturing and hopefully help you get the best image that you can. All right, so let's go back. Keep your comments and questions coming. If I miss one, type it again, or I'll surely go back and answer them after our event. Okay, so once you have your card base stamped across the front, then I'm going to take these other elements. We need the cardinal. This piece looks like two pieces, doesn't it? But it's actually one printed tag. It has the wood grain and then the blue with the snow falling on top there. All right, and we'll need some of our silver cord and some of our green ribbon. Now the green ribbon, I'm going to take about 6 inches, which is about half of what I had left. If you used the ribbon from the first project, then that's about half of what's left. And I'm going to feed that through the hole. Okay, so it's coming up the front, one in the front and one in the back. I'm going to take about 8 inches of the silver, which is about this is 5 inches. So if I did it one length and then another half or so, I'm going to have it long enough. And there's plenty of this, so you can use more. If you don't have something to measure with, you're just enough to go twice across the front of the card. And what we're going to do is take this and tie a bow around the green ribbon. And you just have to kind of use one finger to push down that green ribbon while you're tying the knot. This is cording holds its tie quite well. And then you'll just kind of fluff your bow. So again, it's adding some of that sparkle texture as well as the fabric texture from the ribbon. Trim off some ends. This one's a little long, so I'll trim that. Okay, what do you think we should do next? We've got some pieces to add, so you want to go through your little kit again and find, you've got the cardinal and one of your labels. Then you'll also see these tiny little sprigs. In your kit, they were still connected to the green base. You just carefully pull them out. They're kind of like an evergreen branch. And you'll have plenty. You can use as many as you like. And then you'll have the holly pieces, which also are ready to pop out from the die cut piece. This is a cool stencil. If you had green ink, you could make holly leaves with this as a stencil. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp this little white layer now. And I'm going to go back and do the same greeting, the Let Heaven and Nature Sing. So I'm getting that stamp ready. I'll ink it up with my red spot. This time I'm going to ink it up like we did before with Jingle All the Way. And I can give a little more pressure if I'm pushing the ink down onto the stamp instead of inking the stamp with the ink facing up. Okay. But I'm serious about my offer to help you. If your ink spot seems dry at all, then I'd be happy to drip in some of our red ink for you. So there, now this coordinates with the background paper we created. And notice how when things are mounted with the dimensionals, what a difference it makes here, how the cardinal is popped off of the page, and also this white label. It just adds a lot of interest and dimension. You can see the thickness of the card here. So let's use the dimensionals, our mini dimensionals, to put the cardinal together. I just need one up on his head, and then let's put one here kind of on his throat and over on the wing here. These are strong and they'll hold it in place. You don't need more adhesive than that. This is a card people might engage and handle quite a bit, but hopefully they'll be sensitive to the bird's tail. And when you put it in your envelope, you just want to be cautious that it's not bent. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that guy on there. And then, because we know it's a male cardinal, because the male birds have a more colorful feathers, and so the red cardinal is the male cardinal. So I can call him a guy. All right, so we're going to take these little glue dots to put on the back of the holly berry leaves, the holly leaves. Remember, don't worry if you're not working as quickly as I am. I try to move along so that we have time during our time together for me to fully complete the cards and answer any questions that you have. But I don't want you to feel rushed. Paper crafting is really intended to be a fun, relaxing time for you. And especially as if you're new to the hobby, it's important that you just let yourself play and know that what you're making is handmade with love, and it will be celebrated by whoever you share it with. So don't worry about little imperfections. I used to be more of a perfectionist. Now I just know that it's handmade with love, and if I wanted it to be just the same as everybody else's, then I could buy one at the store. But I would much prefer to create one to share with someone I care about. And I love when I receive handmade cards that I know people have made with me in mind and with their hands. It's a great way to give service to others. There we are. And it's just paper and ink. So even if it's one you're not, if you don't like the way it comes out, for example, then it's a learning experience. So you can keep it for yourself. You can share it with your mom. My mom doesn't mind when I have little oops or ink marks and off in the wrong place. Because again, it's made with love, and when you write a little message inside, a favorite scripture or verse or poem or your own words, that brings a lot of joy to people, especially at this time when we're less able to meet in person. Think about the joy that you'll bring to someone when they go to the mailbox and find a card from you. So let's go ahead. You'll see again what a difference just that little bit of sparkle will make once I add the sequins in place here. It's going to add just a little bit of texture again and sparkle. It kind of picks up, highlights the sparkle of the silver cording. And I went ahead and adhered this a little bit at an angle. You can do it straight on if you like. This one I'll do straight on. This one, then you can compare them. So I'm going to use some of my multi-purpose adhesive, which is my favorite glue, and I'm just going to pop that on so that it's centered along the side and bottom, and that way the ribbon can still hang there. This one, the ribbon's a little higher, so when I put it in the envelope, I'll just have to fold it, or I could cut it off more. So which one do you like? Do you like it straight, or do you like it with a diagonal when it's on its side? You can comment if what your style is. I'll be curious. I have a way I usually do it, but I think it works great. And sometimes it will depend on the shape of what you're using, or if you had an error or kind of an oops with your ink. Sometimes a part of the ink will smear or smudge, and we say there are no mistakes in stamping. only opportunities for layering and embellishing. So you can always cover up with a little bit, with a little sequin, with a little ribbon, and so you hide your oops. But again, that's what makes it personalized. So we have 3 in a row diagonals, like tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. Diana and Judy and Lois all preferred the diagonal. I generally do too, so that's interesting. But I also like here how it's straight because this greeting is straight and that matches the greetings going across here. So again, what's fun is you'll use the materials in your kit any way that you like, and that personalizes your crafting experience. So we're going to be a flapper once again and add some image to the flap. All right. So I'm going to match it up. This time, though, I'm going to, just to practice a little more with this jingle all the way, I'm going to put jingle all the way on my envelope instead. Welcome, everybody. Oh, Lee likes the straight. Yep, lining things up. She's a nurse and kind of a more analytical mind, so that doesn't surprise me, Lee. But there's no right or wrong, which is what makes stamping so much fun. Okay, so I'm going to start right in the middle with the jingle all the way. And then I'm going to build it up side by side. So I'm inking it up. Welcome those who are just joining us. You can catch the replay later to see the full class. It'll be replay on our Facebook pages. It'll also be posted with a YouTube link for you. That will be posted tomorrow, so you can share and watch again on YouTube if you'd like, the Baldwinsville Public Library YouTube channel. So this time I'm just going to do it 3 across instead of filling the entire card or envelope flap. There we go. Okay, so this changed it up a little bit. I think inside I put jingle all the way, so it does coordinate in that regard. All of the images are fun to put together. There we are with our envelopes and our cardinal cards. So the third project we're going to do tonight to complete our set is a tag. This also can be an ornament on your tree. I think it would be a wonderful gift to give to a neighbor if you're making some cookies, or one of our favorite gifts to give neighbors at this time of year is a package of I think they're called Satsuma oranges. They're kind of like tangerines. They're super easy to peel. We usually find them at Tops or at Wegmans, and they're very sweet, and the best thing is they're super easy to peel. And so they're a great gift when you want to give a food consumable item to someone, but maybe someone who doesn't need or desire to have a lot of sweets at this time of year, since they are often in abundance. So the Satsumas we like to have at our place setting, usually at Thanksgiving and always at Christmas. At our place setting, we'll have the Satsuma orange. And I think this tag would look great on a box of Satsuma oranges. What else might you put this sled tag on if you're giving it a gift to a neighbor or a friend or someone at work? Think about what other things might be clever to put this on, to hang it on to a bottle of wine, to put it again with baked goods or candies. But the oranges are a great consumable that's not as calorie laden as the cookies or the peanut butter balls or the molasses cookies. So for this one, we're going to use a few more of our pieces from the kit. We have the sled piece, and it already has the holes pre-punched for you here. You just have to kind of poke those out. Okay, we have some snowflakes, and I chose to use this little blue banner, and I'll show you in the original designs that Stampin' Up! Created. These banner pieces were set across on each of the tag elements. So the whole kit was just tags, and so I added in the Whisper White envelopes and card bases. But you'll see here these little banners, which are great. And so you have some of those in your kit today. And this one I put just vertically. I'm not even going to stamp anything on it, but it is going to just create a little bit of background behind this green ribbon. So the blue and the green just adds a little bit of contrast. So we have some green ribbon left. It should be about 6 inches because we used pretty much a third of the ribbon for each project. That's going to be ready to put here. I'll show you how I adhere it in just a moment, but let's gather up the supplies we need. We'll need one of our labels, and then some of this trim, these little holly leaves, and the I don't need that one. Some of the evergreen branches. Okay, trying to check. Gingerbread cookies I mentioned. Yes, okay. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Let's see. So Julia, I missed your earlier comment. Did you talk about gingerbread cookies earlier tonight? And last month you talked about the Harold in the Purple Crayon, all 9 kinds of pie. And I loved that, finding out about that later after our live event. If I missed your message about the gingerbread cookies, please post again. They are definitely a favorite at this holiday time. The smell evokes a lot of memories about childhood and kind of sugar plums and candy gingerbread houses. And a lot of us love that tradition of making gingerbread houses or the cookies. Okay, I may have lost the place where I can see the comments. So I will go back and answer any questions or comments that you have. I lost my little tech friend who was here at the start of our time. Anyway, I'm going to keep moving now because we're going to go ahead and make our little ornament or tag here. Okay. So we've got our little glue dots. They're great for these snowflakes because we just need a tiny touch of glue. If you like to use multi-purpose glue, that also works well. So I'll do one with the glue dot and one over here with just a little dot of the multi-purpose. This glue is very strong, so you just need a tiny bit. Put that there like that. Okay, I want to secure my blue banner. I'm just going to take a moment to go back and see if I can get the comments again from you. I'll go back and answer any questions that you have after the event. So for the green ribbon now, again, you've heard me say over and over how much I love ribbon because of the texture. I think it just invites people to touch and engage with your project. So I'm going to anchor that here. And it almost reminds me of a scarf or something wintry to be on the sled. All right, and we'll put some holly leaves here. I'm anticipating that the little banner piece that we're going to stamp will go on top. So I want those to be kind of tucked underneath a little bit into the middle. And I love this spruce. I don't know if they would be spruce. That's an evergreen tree. I think they could be spruce spruce needles, evergreens. All right, so for this one, let's go ahead and stamp what haven't we used yet tonight? Another one. Let's see. How about peace and joy? Some of you have this stamp tonight, peace and joy. Again, a lucky winner will receive a full set of the stamps for commenting. So be sure if you're just joining that you go ahead and comment. Oh, she cuts them into holly leaves, trees, stars, bells, Santa, and the reindeer. Wonderful. Something fun about the gingerbread that I've seen this year that I had never seen before are cookie cutters that actually make it so you hang the cookie on the side of a mug. So it's a star, but it has a little section cut out of it so that the star would sit onto the mug. Or the gingerbread boy has space, so he's like sitting on top of the mug. Or what was I guess the candy cane, because you could hang the candy cane over the mugs. They were called mug sitter cookie cutters, and I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah. So do you ice them also, Julia? Do you put frosting on them, or are they the traditional gingerbread without icing? I'm going to go ahead and stamp my peace and joy. There we are. So that's ready to put on there with some dimensionals. A lot of gingerbread recipes you can roll out, or you can put them in like we do for Toddy's cookies, where we roll it into balls and then flatten, just with a spoon, kind of flatten it onto the tray. And other ones you have the dough and you chill it and roll it out and cut it into the shape. So that's a lot of fun. My son Matthew always made the sugar cookies with Grandma Toddy. We called her doughs, Grandma Doughs. And Billy was the one that made the candy, the peanut candy. Oh, sprinkles and colored sugar and those red candies, which make great berries on the holly. Yes, yes, yes. Julia, they sound terrific. All right, so what's missing when we look at these two side by side? I see two things. We need to have a tie for the sled so it can be pulled through the snow or hung on the tree or added to a gift. And then also some of those sparkly sequins, once again, just to add some shine, delight. So let's see if I'll be able to find those items for us. Here's some sparkly sequins. I'm going to use silver ones this time to just dress up the center of those snowflakes. And then I have plenty of silver. You'll have lots left of this. I'm going to take about 8 inches. Again, that's kind of the same as doing, well, let's do it this way. So we'll do 2 sled lengths, okay, which is probably about 9 inches, but you have plenty left. And then what you'll do is tie a little knot through that hole. Yes, Lee was going to say more bling, for sure. We love the sparkle, especially this time of year. It's great to add sparkle. Oh, I have a question for you. If you have a Christmas tree at your house, do you have white lights or do you have colored lights? You can write that in the comments. On your tree, do you have white lights or colored lights? Growing up, our family had the big bulbs, the big color bulbs, always had. And then this year, the last couple of years, our artificial tree can be either white or colored. It has this remote, and so you can change it on a whim. You can have it be a more classic, elegant white light, sort of vintagey, understated, or you can have the more cheerful colored lights, which in fact are vintage too, because like I said, we had the big bulbs growing up that were all different colors. So it's nice at our house we can switch it up, change it from the clear to the color when we want to. White all the way, Jennifer, terrific. And colored on the tree, both in decor. Diana, excellent, okay. So we have neighbors who both do a fabulous job, both sides of our house, decorating for the holidays. And they have both a mix of white and colored lights for their outdoor decorations, and they're beautiful. We do not put up lights outside, but we have some pretty poinsettia decorations on the garage and on the front door. Lee loves the multicolor too. Lots of lights for sure. Baldwinsville, I saw on Facebook, they're doing, light up Baldwinsville. And more than ever this year with COVID, we really need to celebrate the season of light. So in this dark time of the year, we can let our own light shine and decorate the village with color. So I appreciate people who make that special effort to decorate the outside of their homes as well. So now we have a sweet little sled ready to put on a gift. Julia says, when I was a kid, each year we debated. Sometimes there was a kid tree with colored lights and a grown-up's tree with white lights. My aunt and uncle favored the blue lights. Oh, yes. I'm trying to think if I've seen a blue one before. I know I've heard of people having all blue lights. We love that we can flip it and do colored or white when we want to change it up, even just from day to day at our house. So I hope this has been fun for you to do a little holiday paper crafting together. I want to remind you that our class in January will be on January 14th at 7 o'clock. And so if you'd like to reserve a complimentary kit from the library, thank you again to Julia and the Baldwinsville Public Library for sponsoring our kits. And so you can reserve a complimentary kit, and then you'd be able to pick it up after that first week in January. The class will be on January 14th. And if I can be of help to you, if you want to grow your collection of supplies, I would love to be of help to you. If you have some shopping still to do for paper crafting enthusiast friends, or you might like to share this hobby with someone who's never experienced it before, we have lots of all-inclusive kits, like our paper pumpkin kits. And I also have a special that includes the punch and the stamp set that we use tonight. So that information can be found on my business webpage, or business Facebook page, which is Missy's Glad Heart Studio, Paper Crafting and More. So I would love to be able to help you get some bargains and share the fun of creativity with those you love this holiday time. So I thank you very much for being a part of our class. It brings me a lot of joy. I love to make stuff, just not dinner, but I do love to make stuff, and I love the joy and pleasure of giving it away. So please be generous with the things you made. Enjoy sharing them with your loved ones during this holiday time. Let me put them back on the screen just so we can close off by looking together at what we made. And I hope that you'll have a very happy holiday. Be safe and healthy, and enjoy family and friends, whether that be virtual like we're doing tonight or able to gather in person. And again, thank you so much for being a part of this adventure. We'll look forward to our January event on January 14th. So thank you, friends. Have a great night. If you have any questions or comments, keep them in this post. I will go back and be able to answer them, or you can message me too if you have further questions. Thanks again, Julia. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye-bye, friends.